We roll on with our set of 3-round mock drafts before the NFL Combine. We're to number 9 with the New Orleans Saints. This is a team that's in cap hell, has a quarterback that I think they have to cut, and a new coach. What direction do they go? I'll tell you in just a minute. I'm Jeremy Green of ESPN Radio Asheville and NFLDraft.net, and this is our 3-round mock draft for the New Orleans Saints.
I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
And I'm unapologetic.
Look, New Orleans has been kicking the can down the road with the salary cap as long as humanly possible. I believe they have to move on from Derek Carr just solely to get under the cap. This is going to be a blip year because I don't know how you even get under the cap with how much they have pushed down the road and still put a roster out on the field that doesn't look like an expansion team. I would rather roll with Spencer Rattler and another player that we're going to talk about in a few minutes and just know that I might be looking at Arch Manning a year from now. We start at number 9. If I'm going to be bad at quarterback, I'm going to find some best friends for him. And I'm going to do that twice in this. Number 9, Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. I think this kid is special. And I understand he plays a position that is kind of deep in this draft. I think he can be a George Kittle level player in the NFL. And that's something New Orleans needs. As I watched them last year, it was really obvious that no matter who the quarterback was, he just didn't really trust anybody. As soon as Chris Olave went off that field and Rashid Shaheed got hurt, there's nothing left. You've got to have somebody that you can count on for a 12-yard conversion, and Tyler Warren's that guy. He's one of the most athletically gifted tight ends I think that I've ever seen. Now, it only really happened for 1 year. What we saw in 2024 was way different than what we had seen in the first 2 years of him at Penn State, where he basically had 550 yards total with 44 catches. I get it. He could be a one-year wonder. I do have Colston Loveland close-ish to him. Not quite as close as I did at one time. The more I watch Tyler Warren, I think he's just a weapon. And he could be a very modern-day NFL kind of quarterback, or kind of tight end, excuse me. He even played some quarterback, threw some passes at Penn State. He's just an incredibly talented, very diverse kind of tight end. And at 9, I can't bypass him. I don't like any of these pass rushers enough to jump out of line and bypass what I think is a special player. Number 9, Tyler Warren to the New Orleans Saints. For the Saints, I'm going to do a lot of addressing of the offense, but I do have to get a player on the defense. Look, Brian Brise has been an absolute disaster. If you watch him and really watch him, there have been a couple of chunk plays. Other than that, he has been absolutely awful. I need to get somebody to play on the inside of him to at least see if I even have anything. If I have anything that's worth holding on to. So at 40, I'm going to take one of the most balanced defensive tackles in this class. It's TJ Sanders out of South Carolina. I love this kid. I got to see him up close and personal when they played LSU in Columbia. I think he might be the most balanced in terms of being able to hold up against the run and be a legit pass rusher. 12.6% pass rush win rate last year, and he had an 8.8% run stop rate on a team that was stacked with defensive talent. They're going to have a ton of guys drafted in this class. And TJ Sanders may be my favorite of all of them. I think this kid comes in, starts right away. You put him on the inside of Cam Jordan, and I've got a formidable side to this defense that will help everything else. I'm not going to do a lot of addressing of the defense. The defense has players. The offense does not. So I feel like in the draft with young talent, I have to chase the offensive side. But the value at 40, too good. I couldn't bypass TJ Sanders, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. 2 picks in the 3rd round, and I'm kind of living by the same philosophy that I had with my first one with Tyler Warren. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be long-term, but I know they're going to need a safety blanket, and this kid's fallen too far. I'm a Florida State fan, and it should tell you everything that you need to know that I absolutely love this kid. He's not going to run fast, and I think that's going to push him down, and he's more quick than he is fast. Xavier Restrepo, wide receiver out of Miami. If you tell me I can add Tyler Warren and Restrepo to Olave and to Rashid Shaheed, who are both over-the-top threats. This gives me 2 more consistent guys in the middle. Now, it's not that I don't care who plays quarterback. I just feel like I'm going to get a better idea of who they are. I think that will be Spencer Rattler with a rookie behind him, because, as I said, the cap cost on Derek Carr is just cost prohibitive. I can't pay him that kind of money when I'm this far over the cap. I have to get that ledger clear so 1 year from now I can actually build this roster out and be competitive again. Restrepo was, I mean, think of all the players that have been at Miami over the years. This is the leading receiver in Miami history, over Michael Irvin, over Andre Johnson, over Reggie Wayne. This guy's number one. Super consistent, one of the lowest drop rates I've ever seen at 2.8%. I think he's going to be a dog in the NFL. I hear comparisons to Ladd McConkey, and I don't agree with it because he's not as fast. But I do think he can be that Julian Edelman type player that I need a conversion. I'm going to play this kid in the slot, and that's where I'm going to look a lot. And you mix him with Tyler Warren, and I think you actually legitimately have something because you do have two deep threats. Now I'm looking at my offense going, I have weapons. I feel okay about the offensive line. I'm pretty much pot committed there. But now I can look at my offense and go, I'm going to get a good look at whoever it is that plays quarterback. Number 71, Xavier Restrepo out of Miami. One pick left is number 93, and I'm going to take a shot. This kid has an absolutely golden arm, but some of the decisions he makes absolutely drive me insane. It's Quinn Ewers, quarterback out of Texas. Now, the ironic thing here is that a year from now, you could have Quinn Ewers backing up Arch Manning after Arch Manning backed up Quinn Ewers at Texas. I don't think a third-round pick precludes you from doing anything a year from now. I'm going to take a shot on a devalued asset. Look, Quinn Ewers is better than the 93rd player in this class. This quarterback class is so bad that I feel like some of these guys are getting pushed down just solely because we're going to wait for a year. I'll take a shot, and if Spencer Rattler is absolutely terrible the back half of of his rookie season, I'll chuck Quinn out there. See if I have anything. He has a really good arm, and if you watched him at Texas, 90% of the time he looked like a first-round pick, especially when he's throwing deep. I do love the idea of him with Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. The problem is when he gets pressured. If there is pressure in his face, this kid goes from a first-round talent to a sixth. If I can hone that in, and look, New Orleans, you got some time. This is a high upside. If we miss on it, what the hell does it matter? How many of us miss third-round picks? And I don't usually have that kind of philosophy with the draft, but I'm looking at New Orleans going, if you don't bottom out, what is your path to getting back? I don't want a Jameis Winston. I don't want a Matthew Stafford. I don't want a Kirk Cousins. I'm not a competitive team as it sits. I have to bottom out. And if I hit on Quinn, awesome. I have the most valuable asset probably in NFL history a year from now when Arch Manning is coming into the draft, if he turns into what we think he is. That's if I hit on Ewers. If I don't, no harm, no foul. I've got a guy that he knows, that he's comfortable with. He'll be the backup to Arch. And I gave it a shot. I usually do not abide by this kind of theory. With New Orleans, I got to take a shot. I can't just keep adding, we'll go in with Spencer Rattler and Tyrod Taylor. It doesn't do anything. I know exactly what Spencer Rattler is. I have to start him to start the year, but I'm going to have another option. And that option for me, Quinn Ewers, here at 93. Do you like these picks? Do you hate these picks? God almighty, I cannot wait to see the comments of this because I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of Saints fans that absolutely crucify me for this. And that's fine. It's my strategy. I don't necessarily – we're still before the combine. So I don't even have a good read on where these teams are feeling about different players. This is just I went through 3 rounds, and this is what I would do as each one of these teams when I hit the board. I'm Jeremy Green of ESPN Radio Asheville and NFLDraft.net. If you like this video, click that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you can see all of our NFL Draft content as we go through the entire process. We will be live at the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine next week in Indianapolis, and it's all building up to the big week. We will be live on Radio Row for all 3 days of the 2025 NFL Draft from Titletown. All of it's yours here in the Sportsocracy on NFLDraft.net. This has been the 3-round mock draft for the New Orleans Saints. We'll do another one of these after the combine. Have a little bit better information, see where teams are really leaning. I'm Jeremy Green, and I'll see you next time.
I'm unapologetic. Cancel, yeah, you can try. You can't cancel what's been tonight. I ain't been had a shit, no silver spoon inheritance. Tired of trying to be what other people want me to be, and now you get what you see.